Welcome to our English session, and now we proceed with Unit 8, that is read as Mwaluko and the Little Thief. Mwaluko and the Little Thief. So this is the person name, and here we have the little thief. I think we all know the meaning of thief. Mwizi. So our story is about Mwaluko and the Little Thief. So in this unit, until we learn, or until we read, we learn how to read and answer questions on passage about Mwaluko and the Little Thief, pronounce and use vocabulary found in the passage, express past activities and actions, ask and answer questions, make positive and negative questions, as well as write a short paragraph. So we may start to read the following passage and answer the questions that follow. Mwaluko lives on a street near Mwembeni School Library. One day, Standard 5 pupils went to the library to read storybooks. While in the library, the pupils heard people shouting. They saw a boy sitting on the ground, surrounded by people. It was Mashaka, their classmate. The people had just stopped him when they heard a man shouting and asking for help. The boy was trembling, and on his left was a bag full of clothes. Mashaka had stolen the clothes from Mwaluko's house and hid them in the bag. Mwaluko saw the boy running away and started to chase him. As he chased the boy, he shouted, "Thief! Stop thief! Catch him!" The people across the road caught Mashaka, and suddenly Mwaluko arrived. Mwaluko hit Mashaka in the face and Mashaka fell down. Suddenly, a police officer appeared and saved Mashaka from both Mwaluko and the crowd. Mwaluko, Mashaka, and some witnesses were taken to the police station to write a statement about what had happened. While Mashaka was writing the statement, his father arrived. He heard what had happened to his son from the neighbors and the police officer. Then Mashaka's father became very angry. I thought, when you left home in the morning, you went to school. Instead, you went to steal from Mwaluko's home. You are a very bad boy. I have warned you several times. Mashaka's father complained. While Mashaka's father was complaining, Mashaka's mother arrived. I am ashamed of you, Mashaka. We provide you with all that you need. We feed you well. We have sent you to school. We bought uniforms and books for you. What else do you want, my child? His mother asked while crying. As Mashaka was being pushed into the lockup, he was crying and saying, "Why did I do this? Today I will not be in the hands of the police. Now I am suffering a lot. I did not obey my parents." That day, Mashaka spent the night in the lockup. The next day, he was allowed to go back home. When Mashaka told his parents about the night in the lockup and the punishment he got, they felt sorry for him. Mashaka regretted for stealing from Mwaluko. They told him to change his behavior. He had nothing to do but cry and cry. He regretted for stealing Mwaluko's clothes instead of going to school. That was too bad. Later, Mashaka's parents were called by the head teacher. They told the head teacher what had happened to their son. They also asked the head teacher to pardon him. When the head teacher asked Mashaka to explain why he stole Mwaluko's clothes, he just kept quiet. The head teacher punished Mashaka in his office and warned him not to misbehave again. Wow, a good story. A good story, especially for you pupils who some of you misbehave by not going to school, instead running in the streets and engage in different groups that are not good. That say you engage in bad groups, then you get suffering or troubles, as how Mashaka did. So then after we proceed with questions. Question 1. Where did the police officer take Mashaka, Mwaluko, and the witnesses? Question 2. What did Mashaka's parents do at the police station? Question 3. What happened to Mashaka at the police station when his parents left? Number 4. What did Mashaka's parents do at school? And the last, what did the head teacher do to Mashaka in his office? So we have to answer these questions so that we improve our English understanding and learning. Other questions. Where were standard 5 pupils when they heard the noise in the street? Number 2. Who was surrounded by the crowd? 3. Whose clothes did Mashaka steal? And 4. What did Mwaluko do to Mashaka when he arrived? And the other question, who saved Mashaka from Mwaluko and the crowd? Then after, we have to read the words aloud and use them to construct sentences orally. Library, regret, classmate, trembling, suddenly, witnesses, a statement, learn, a lesson, ashamed, obey, can't, misbehave, street, and head teacher. Then after, we have to read the following words aloud and use them to construct sentences orally. Greet, greet, street, feed, fill, breed, treat, and read. The other activity is vocabulary practice. So you have to match words in column X with their meanings in column Y. So we have library, regret, classmate, trembling, suddenly, and the witness. So we have to find their meanings in other columns. As well as statement, learn a lesson, ashamed, learn a lesson, ashamed, obey, can, misbehave, as well as street. Then after, we have to change the words in the bracket into the correct form. Example, John has gone to Dodoma. Then John has gone to Dodoma. So that is perfective or past participle form, since we have has as auxiliary. So in the subject with he, she, it, and name, we will have auxiliary has and en form of verb. Then the questions are following. The first question, he has dash steal his friend's storybook. I have beat the thief. I have write a letter to the head teacher. The police officer has opened the door. Jerome has gone to the police station. Then after, we have to change the sentences into negative form. Example, the police officer had arrived when Mwaluko caught the thief. Then the police officer had not. So what I had made here is to add not, negation, so that change the sentence from positive to negative. So our questions: the people had stopped the Mashaka when they heard Mwaluko shouting. The second, Mashaka had stolen the clothes from Mwaluko before he started to shout. And the other, Mwaluko and Mashaka wrote statement of what had happened. Then he heard what had happened to his son, Mashaka, from the pupils. Then the police officer told the head teacher what had happened to Mashaka in the street. Then after, we have to rearrange the sentences to produce a paragraph. The police officer canned him and took him to his parents' home the following morning. Then Mashaka's parents heard what had happened to their son Mashaka. So we have to arrange these sentences in corresponding order so that we get the meaning. Then the people had just stopped the Mashaka when Mwaluko arrived. The police officer arrived when Mwaluko had caught the thief. Then Mwaluko, Mashaka and some witnesses were taken to the police station to write a statement about what had happened. Then Mashaka had stolen clothes from Mwaluko's house and hid them in the bag. Then they took Mashaka to school. They told the head teacher what had happened to Mashaka. So up to here, this is the end of our now session. Thank you for your time, and let us meet other session. Thank you.
Purchase your tracks today.